Now at 9, how a local organization is helping the area homeless population.
House Democrats move to legalize abortion nationwide. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story straight ahead.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. A Cherokee County judge sentences a man to prison for a 2019 attack. Authorities say 63-year-old James Hignite held a woman against her will at a rural location outside of Galena during a multi-day attack. Hignite pled guilty to 2 counts of aggravated battery, 1 count of aggravated domestic battery. He's sentenced to more than 10 years in prison. Delaware County, Oklahoma man pleads guilty to sexually abusing 3 boys. Crimes that began decades ago. Jeffrey Cunningham pled guilty to 3 counts of aggravated sexual abuse of a minor under 12 in Indian country. Authorities say Cunningham admits to sexually abusing the children in the late 1990s, in 2003, also 2011. Victims were 9, 10, and 12 years old at the time of the crimes. A Bernice, Oklahoma man is dead after an accident in Ottawa County yesterday. Authorities say at around 6:13 p.m., 66-year-old Jeffrey Blysath was traveling north on County Road South 520 near Afton when his vehicle left the road, hit a culvert, and then flipped. Blysath was ejected from the vehicle. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Fire crews in Joplin today battled a house fire in the city's Easttown neighborhood right there. Authorities say with the high winds, the flames extended at 25 feet in the air, and they burned the home on the 1600 block of East 3rd Street. The blaze was so intense, the fire department sounded a second alarm for more manpower. Neighbors say everyone made it out of the home safely, thankfully. Well, the Homeless Coalition of Jasper and Newton Counties is hosting a Homeless Connect event. The event at Central Christian Center in Joplin is a sort of a one-stop shop to provide information on healthcare, food, resources, housing, and employment. KOAM's Segun Bamidele has these details.
Many of the people gathered here are homeless and seeking to get back on their feet. Among them is Skylar Briggs.
Different people that have come together to try to help me focus on myself and get my things back in order the way that they need to be. They've all came here today to be able to help me do that, and everybody else in the community. It means a lot. Issa Greenwood, the Assistant Director of Resource Development for Economic Security, says events like this are geared towards helping individuals who cannot afford basic life amenities.
What's beneficial is a lot of these individuals don't have access to communication as far as television and radio. So what we do is we go out to different organizations, let them know that this event is going to take place, and then it's just kind of a chain effect as far as getting the word out to them.
The Homeless Connect is also a chance for people to get more information on VA benefits and Social Security, all aimed at helping people who are homeless looking for a new beginning. Reporting in Joplin, Segun Bamidele, KOAM News.
The Homeless Connect event is usually held twice a year. Some area athletes took to Missouri Southern to show off some strength, a lot of strength. MSSU hosted the First Form Monster Games today. First Form is a well-known health and wellness brand in the fitness community. Crossfit Competition hosted hundreds of people and had events featuring tests of endurance, strength, gymnastic movements as well. Man, the competition brings people from the CrossFit community all across the country.
So lots of work. Like I'm on a team. My partner, he's actually my coach of the gym that I attend. And so we work out a lot together, train a lot together, and because a lot of the movements are synchro, so we have to be on the same level fitness-wise and mentally. So it's a lot of preparing, but it's so much fun.
First Form Monster Games is also a qualifying event for Legends Master Competition, a global event that will take place in December. This month is Parks and Recreation Month. Since 1985, the country has celebrated the professionals who build communities through the Parks and Rec Department. In celebration of the event, KOAM took a trip to see what Lincoln Park in Pittsburgh has to offer. The park offers a variety of services and events, including a kids' summer camp, bingo, also that right there, a water park.
We all know it's hot outside in July, but we always have our aquatic center with the pools open. We also do our senior bingo, which is in the AC, same with our camp. And on top of that, all of our parks in the evenings, normally it cools off.
The theme for this year's Parks and Recreation Month is called Rise Up for Parks and Recreation. House Democrats passed a bill today which would enshrine federal abortion protections into law. Passing the measure in an evenly divided Senate, however, may be a heavy lift. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively reports now from Washington.
The yeas are 223, the nays are 205. The bill is passed.
The House voted to legalize abortion nationwide on Friday in response to the Supreme Court's decision last month to throw out the federal protections under Roe v. Wade.
Bottom line, there is no room for politicians in our wombs.
It is abortion for any reason at any stage of pregnancy until birth. It's not the will of the American people.
The House measure would actually expand Roe and prevent abortion bans earlier than 24 weeks. But it has little chance of becoming law. Democrats don't have the votes to get it through the Senate. Without it, abortion rights and restrictions are up to the states. About half are moving to block or severely limit the procedure.
The states are going to adjust. They're going to determine what their citizens want, and they're going to make judgments on it and govern accordingly. And that's to me, in line with the Constitution and what the Supreme Court has said.
The House also passed a bill that would prohibit punishment for doctors performing the procedure outside their home state and block laws banning travel to another state for abortion.
Is this the United States of America, where Republicans in these states can say to women, you cannot cross state lines for your own good health?
House Democrats are planning more votes on reproductive rights this summer, including one next week that would guarantee the right to birth control. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
President Biden making a historic visit to Saudi Arabia, hoping to build back America's influence in the Gulf region. Fox News correspondent Alex Hogan has more from Saudi Arabia.
President Biden making history as he stepped off Air Force One, becoming the first American president to fly directly from Israel to Saudi Arabia. He's here in the port city of Jeddah for the next leg of his 4-day Middle East visit, with the focus turning to economic issues. He'll make a big push for Saudi officials to increase oil production, hoping it will bring down prices around the world. But it won't be easy. On the campaign trail, the president said he wanted to make Saudi Arabia a pariah after multiple allegations of human rights abuses, and he'll have to work to mend fences in order to reestablish America's influence on the region.
I have never been quiet about talking about human rights. The reason I'm going to Saudi Arabia, though, is much broader, is to promote U.S. interest.
President Biden's first meeting here with the controversial Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who's been implicated in the murder of dissident journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The two leaders coming to minor agreements on energy security and clean energy cooperation. We're still waiting to see if there are major breakthroughs, with critics back in Washington claiming the trip is a waste of time and the focus should be on increasing domestic energy production.
The only reason President Biden is going to Saudi Arabia is to beg for them to produce more oil. What does that mean? Because he stopped it in America.
The president will also attend a summit with Gulf allies to discuss oil production and Iran's nuclear program. In Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another four-state hero. Elsai Pugh served in the U.S. Army in 1918. He was stationed in France, and we are proud to thank and salute Elsai Pugh, a native of Carthage, Missouri. He's tonight's four-state hero. Nick Kelly's next with a complete look at the forecast, and a bit later, the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, joining us to talk about the upcoming football season. Going to hear from him in sports.
After spending so many days with temperatures either in the 90s or near 100, it was nice to see at least a little bit of change in the action, certainly with our incoming cold front from the north that's been developing over the past day or so. In fact, out ahead of it, we actually, surprisingly, had a good band of showers work over I-70 around the Kansas City and Topeka area and even around Lawrence. But as the rain came on through our northern counties, though, that's when the scattered showers really started to fizzle apart. But even though we did not get a lot of those rain chances, or a lot out of it, we are not quite done with rain chances for the weekend just yet. The other thing I'm tracking is the heat, not just these heat advisories for a good portion of the area until 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, but potentially dangerous heat as we go into next week. As far as temperatures go for today, it was kind of similar to how we fared yesterday, at least into the upper 90s to near 100, only dropping back into the upper 70s this morning, and at the very least topping back out near 100 again at Joplin Regional for today. Everyone had a hot start to the evening with temperatures in the 90s, but we are going to ultimately drop back into the, well, let's say the upper 70s for tonight, as we continue to keep an eye on our cold front that will park itself near us and holds tight at least through much of this weekend. And we'll keep an eye on things upstairs because we have some disturbances riding around this upper level ridge that's going to play a big role in the forecast by early next week at the very least. But in the short term, this setup bringing some rain chances our way, we'll definitely take it, considering goodness knows we need the rain. We're mostly clear to start the night out ahead of us, but I do expect at least some partly cloudy skies to roll in. I think the future track here, overdoing cloud cover by a good deal, so I want to go partly cloudy, lows back in the middle to upper 70s across much of the region. I want to go partly sunny for tomorrow, but by noon, and even going into the afternoon, I would not be surprised if another wave upstairs, working with our cold front nearby, could trigger a few isolated showers or storms. Otherwise, it's going to be another hot and humid day. We're talking about a low of 78 in the morning, 94 by noon. I think most spots just stop short of 100 because of the clouds and our rain chances, but still hot with temperatures around 99 degrees. Maybe a little bit of a break in our rain chances Saturday night by 10 o'clock, but you can see as we go into Sunday, we could potentially see periods of scattered showers, even some thunderstorms that will at least knock us back into the mid-90s for highs. Not looking at big widespread rain or heavy rainfall by any means. On the average, a lot of us staying under half an inch, but if you get underneath any thunderstorms, you are going to hopefully pick up some locally heavier amounts. Now, in terms of feels like temperatures, this is why those heat advisories are out. Many spots flirting between 101 and 106 as we go into tomorrow afternoon, especially. Then after a break Sunday morning, many of us back between feeling like the mid-90s and potentially back near 105. Then that upper level ridge, Jordan, makes things a bit dangerous going into next week. 99 tomorrow, 96 for Sunday and Monday. Lower triple digits at least Tuesday. We'll make that Wednesday through Friday of next week, but I put the alert day up for Tuesday. I haven't seen any indications of excessive heat warning or heat advisories out for Tuesday yet, but given how I think we could hit 106, that is dangerously hot if you are not planning carefully.
Just unreal. Just unreal.
Numbers I haven't seen personally since 2012 down here.
Yeah, we'll see in a little bit. Nick Kelly, thanks so much. Coming up, a new number for emergencies.
A new number to get help during a mental health crisis. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington. I'll take a look at what happens when you dial 988. Available nationally on Saturday.
A study on marijuana use among teens says they are much more likely to develop addictions than adults. Scientists at the King's College London say teenagers specifically are 3.5 times more likely to develop severe cannabis use disorder, essentially addiction, than adults. 76 teens aged 16 and 17 participated in the study. Half of them had 6 or more symptoms of cannabis use disorder. Researchers say since teen brains are not fully developed for controlling risky behaviors, early marijuana use increases risks of substance abuse problems. A new study says that kids in a bad mood may be taking in more bad food. University of Southern California researchers say negative emotions play a large role in unhealthy eating habits for kids. In an ethnically diverse study of about 200 kids, the scientists found kids ate more fried foods on days with variable emotion patterns, and mornings and evenings were 2 vulnerable emotion periods. Unhealthy foods are most likely to be eaten on weekends when kiddos had less structure. Sweets were among the most consumed foods, at least once daily. Calling a mental health help hotline can seem daunting, even shameful for some. Shouldn't be that way, but it is. A new emergency number and a new name may make it just a bit easier. Starting tomorrow, 988 is going to be available nationally for anyone going through a mental health crisis as an alternative to 911 and is available for anyone who needs help. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard taking a closer look.
I don't want to cry anymore.
That song by Logic topped music billboards with a powerful message, titled with the 10-digit National Suicide Prevention Hotline number. But starting Saturday, the number becomes easier. Just dial or text 988.
With 988, there is just a tremendous amount of expectation. We want this to go well. Failure is not an option.
988 will connect the caller with the renamed Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. From there, a licensed counselor can help address mental health and substance abuse issues.
This definitely makes it easier for you to access care and potentially save your life. You're dialing a 3-digit number instead of a long 1-800 number. And it's not going to encompass all of your care, but it's a step in the right direction.
It will first route the caller to a local crisis center. In some cases, they can dispatch mobile units. If no answer, it will forward to a national backup center.
It's a new number, but it's not a new service. Last year, we helped over 3.6 million people. Expect to reach a lot more people through a 3-digit number.
With that increase in callers, millions more in funding will be needed.
What it does is it signifies to America and to our country and to patients that we know what the needs are and we're addressing them, and you are important and you are not alone.
Just 7 years ago, Tanja Miles was suicidal. Her family called police.
The first law enforcement person treated me like I was in crisis. The next one treated me like I was a criminal.
She says her experience led to her advocacy to make the helpline a better resource.
Historically, communities of color like myself, we don't call a crisis line because of trauma, trust, and tradition. This is going to be a game changer.
988, changing the game with one simple number that could save countless lives. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Still ahead, an emotional get-together.
The Buffalo supermarket where a deadly mass shooting occurred reopens. I'm Kevin Cork in Washington with more on the new charges the accused gunman is facing. That's coming right up.
Bank of America being fined more than $200 million for poor handling of unemployment benefits during the pandemic. In late 2020 and through mid-2021, the company installed a new automatic system for catching fraud. The fraud filter, however, was faulty, unlawfully freezing customers' prepaid unemployment benefit accounts. Now, the company is being fined and is going to have to repay those impacted by the mistake, which could amount to hundreds of millions of dollars. The accused gunman in the mass shooting at Buffalo supermarket was indicted by a federal grand jury yesterday. And today, the market opened its doors for the first time since that massacre. Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork has more.
We pray that this building will be the beacon of light in our community that shows that we are Buffalo strong.
A Buffalo supermarket reopens its doors Friday, 2 months after a gunman opened fire, killing 10 people there. All of the victims were black. On Thursday, the community held a prayer service outside the Tops Friendly Market and marked the moment the shooting began.
Would you please now join me in this moment of silence?
Tops says about 75% of employees who worked at the Jefferson Avenue store have returned to work. The market was turned back over to Tops after investigators spent days combing through it for evidence. The decision to reopen has been met with mixed emotion.
That trauma is not gone. In 2 months' time, the trauma is not gone.
If I get punched in the mouth, I don't just want to stand there. Well, lie down there. I want to just get back up, face, adversity in the mirror.
On Thursday, a federal grand jury indicted the accused gunman, 19-year-old Peyton Gendron, on 27 counts, including federal hate crimes and firearms charges. Just last month, he pled not guilty to state charges that include murder, attempted murder, and domestic terrorism. Attorney General Merrick Garland says his department will, quote, continue to be relentless in our efforts to combat hate crimes, to support the communities terrorized by them, and to hold accountable those who perpetrate them. The accused gunman will be arraigned on that federal indictment next week. He faces life in prison or the death penalty if he is ultimately convicted. In Washington, I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
All right, well, next, going to tell you about a new way to turn someone into an action superhero. If you ever wanted an action figure of yourself, this is your chance. How cool is this? I mean, really, Hasbro is letting anyone add their face to characters from Marvel, Star Wars, Power Rangers, Ghostbusters, and G.I. Joe. The toy company is teaming up with 3D printing company Formlabs for this project called the Hasbro Selfie Series. Now, to create a custom action figure, you must download the Hasbro Pulse app, scan your face, pick an action figure, and make it your own. It costs $60 and it's going to be available in the fall. I think it was so cool. What a great gift that would be for kids And of course, adults still into the superhero phase. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. How a local horse ranch is using those horses to help people with physical therapy.
A doctor says Brittany Griner was prescribed medical marijuana for pain. I'm Ryan Chilcote in London. I've got the details coming up.
Lovers rejoice today. It's National I Love Horses Day. Horses often give us emotional therapy, but workers at a therapy stable in Baxter Springs, Kansas say horses can even give us physical therapy as well. KOAM's Amber Jenkins explains.
Connecting with a horse is more than just that. It's therapy. Addison bonds with her horse named Spirit once a week.
He's soft and I get to pet him and he just calms my nerves.
Addison is celebrating National I Love Horses Day by spending time with her hooved friend.
Horses of Hope Day is my favorite day of every week. Spirit's my best friend.
Many people assume horse therapy only deals with mental health, but riding a horse is physical therapy as well.
So for anybody who might have some gait abnormalities or gait dysfunction, or even someone in a wheelchair, when they get to sit on a walking horse, it's putting their body through a normal range of motion, and it helps them strengthen, improve balance, and function overall.
Horses of Hope is a therapy ranch in Baxter Springs, Kansas, and they are celebrating National I Love Horses Day by hosting a week-long feed drive. Caring for horses costs money for things as basic as food.
I remember 25 years ago, a bag of equine senior probably cost in the $10, $12 range, and it is now $37 a bag. So in 25 years, it's jumped up a lot, and just in the last year or two, it has even jumped tremendously.
Horses of Hope has a hope of its own. With a little help from donors, people like Addison can find a friend, a little comfort, and maybe some fun along the trail. In Baxter Springs, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
To donate to Horses of Hope, go ahead and visit our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Visitors stopping by the Quapaw Farmers Market today, shopping for some fresh produce, also had a chance to help tribe members. The Quapaw Nation Cancer Awareness Team set up a booth to sell t-shirts and homemade goods. They're raising money for tribal members and families who are battling cancer. This is one of many fundraisers the team puts on throughout the year.
It helps them out with travel expenses. It gives them a relief, I do believe. I have one of them that is very close to me that we helped out last year, and it was a relief to them to be able to come to us and get help from us because they traveled to St. Jude.
Next fundraiser is going to be a golf event on August 14th. There was a little less penny pinching in the U.S. last month. Retail sales increased 1% in June. As according to new Commerce Department data, officials say consumers purchased nearly $681 billion worth of goods among the items that turned in big sales. Automobiles, gas, also groceries, stuff we all need to pay more, right? Declines were reported for other items including clothing and building materials. Well, parents are determined to make sacrifices when it comes to back-to-school shopping and spending. The National Retail Federation and a Prosper Insights and Analytics survey says back-to-school spending for families with kids through high school is going to reach $37 billion, about $864 per family. But families are trimming back in other areas. 38% of families say they're cutting some other spending that they don't have to make and buying on sale and off-brand items to make it work. The nation's largest online retailer is reeling cash after another successful two-day sale event. Amazon reporting that members bought more than 300 million items on this year's Prime Day event. Prime members saved more than $1.7 billion in shipping, with U.S. consumers buying at a rate of 60,000 items per minute. 60,000 items per minute. Among the most popular items bought were beauty products, gotta look good, right? Apple Watches, diapers, and kitchen items. The company did not reveal its total revenue, but did say smaller businesses saw sales growth. Brittany Griner back in court today. Her lawyers explaining why she was carrying vape cartridges with cannabis oil. Fox News correspondent Ryan Chilcote has more from London.
WNBA star Brittany Griner attending a hearing in a Russian courtroom Friday as her high-profile drug trial continues. Griner's defense team submitting documents to show she did not intend to bring the alleged drugs into Russia illegally. Lawyers submitted a doctor's letter which says the basketball star used prescribed medical cannabis to treat her chronic pain.
In the hearings yesterday and today, what became very clear is the tremendous amount of respect and admiration, both in the United States and here in Russia, where Ms. Greiner has been playing basketball for 7 years, not only for her professional achievements, but for her character and integrity.
Last week, Greiner pleaded guilty to carrying vape cartridges containing cannabis. And since the plea, the court sessions have focused on in-person and written testimonies about her good character and athletic abilities. The two-time Olympic gold medalist was arrested at a Moscow airport back in February. If convicted, she faces up to 10 years in prison. But the U.S. Embassy in Moscow says the administration is committed to finding a solution.
The commitment of the United States government at the very highest levels to bring home safely Brittany Griner and all U.S. citizens wrongfully detained, as well as the commitment of the United States Embassy to protect the interests of all American citizens detained in Russia.
Griner's next hearing is scheduled for the 26th of July. In London, Ryan Chilcote, Fox News.
A bit later, another medical marvel.
Fruit juice dispensers inspired a new home dialysis machine. I'm Jackie Ibanez with a look at the technology straight ahead.
Turned out to be another hot day, but if you were tracking the radar this morning, you were probably a little bit surprised to see this unfold to the north. Ahead of our approaching cold front, we actually had a good scattering of rain and even thunderstorms along the I-70 corridor. It looked promising as it was working in from the north earlier this morning, but it just collapsed as it was nearing the I-44 corridor. For those of you that did see the showers, we didn't get really a lot in terms of measurable precip, but we're not quite done with the rain chances yet. And with the humidity with the front enacting rain chances for tomorrow, possibly, and even Sunday, it's also going to result in these heat advisories going back into effect. All of northeast Oklahoma along the Kansas-Oklahoma line and the Joplin area. Well, tomorrow afternoon until about 8 o'clock, since again, it's going to be hot and humid. We were definitely hot, no doubt about it, the other day with highs pushing near 100, upper 70s this morning, back near 100 at Joplin Regional at first impressions there. Fortunately, though, even though we were hot to start the evening out, mostly clear skies, it is allowing the temperatures to drop back through the 90s, eventually through the 80s, and down into the 70s tonight ahead of our approaching cold front. This front, even though it's not going to pass on through, will play a role in our weekend weather, along with several disturbances riding along the edge of this upper level ridge, which this is going to play a big role in the forecast as we go into next week. In the short term, though, let's just take all the rain chances that we can get with not only the front that'll be nearby going into tomorrow, but those upper level disturbances too. Both of which will start to bring in some cloud cover tomorrow morning, but still will allow temperatures to drop back into the mid to upper 70s to start your Saturday morning out. I think cloud cover is almost a bit overdone here. I think we'll be partly sunny to start the afternoon and through the afternoon tomorrow, but you can see how the future track wants to paint maybe a few isolated showers or storms during the afternoon. I still think that's at least a safe assumption. 78 in the morning, 94 by noon, but even with the clouds and the rain chances, we'll still have highs pushing hot back near 99 degrees. Fast forward through Saturday evening, we stick with partly cloudy skies, but look at all these rain chances that want to materialize and pass on throughout times on your Sunday. It may not look exactly like that on the radar, but again, we'll take all the rain chances that we can get even for Sunday, because that will certainly keep us in the mid-90s for highs. Not a lot of measurable rainfall at first impressions here on the rain tracker, but while rain amounts could measure about half an inch or less on the average, if you get underneath any thunderstorms, you could potentially see, and lucking out, with heavier pockets of rain. Heat indices, this is why those heat advisories are back in effect. Many spots between 100 and almost 106, certainly in northeastern Oklahoma. Then the big ticket item in terms of our weather story for next week. Look at this upper ridge really building in starting on Monday. This is your setup, not just for Tuesday, but going through much of next week. We're talking about highs near 99 tomorrow, 96 Sunday and Monday, and 4 days at least of triple-digit heat, Jordan. Tuesday at 106. I'm putting out an alert day for that because those are numbers I have not seen since 2012. And even though we'll turn a little bit cooler Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, still 102, 103, just plain hot.
Yeah, not looking forward to next week at all. Yeah. Nick Kelly, you're about to enter a new chapter in your life.
Yeah, it's after almost 11 years here, my time has come to move on. I'm staying in the weather business, thankfully, but Springfield's calling my name.
KY3, right? Your last day is going to be Sunday. We're going to miss you, of course, but we wish you all the best.
Yeah, you've been a pleasure to work with, Jordan.
Likewise.
And I'm not saying goodbye. I'm going to be close by. It's just so long for now. But I'm not done until Sunday night.
Yep, you got it, man. Thanks so much, Nick Kelly. All right, coming up in sports, the Joplin Outlaws aiming to stay in first place in the Mink League South Division, plus the shorthanded KC Royals trying to stay hot in Toronto. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Joplin Outlaws took over first place in the Mink League South Division last night, beating the Sedalia Bombers 6-5. Tonight, the Outlaws aim to stay in first, hosting the Nevada Griffins. This is the 8th meeting of the summer between these two teams. Nevada leads the season series 4-3. Bottom of the second inning tonight. Fort Scott Greyhound Carson Carpenter gets a hold of one. All the way to the fence to score Joe Riccio. It's 1-0 Outlaws. For the third inning now. Big inning. Garrett Chun singles to center. That allows Corey Siracusa, a Pittsburgh State Gorilla, to come home. Then Max Bruff punches one through here. This finds the grass. 2 will score on this from Bruff. Outlaws post 8 runs in the third inning. They don't let up. Joplin drills Nevada tonight 15-2. Tonight is game 2 of the series between the shorthanded Kansas City Royals and the Toronto Blue Jays. The Royals won game 1 last night 3-1. Kansas City trying to stay hot and get their 6th win in the last 7 games. Ramel Tapia singles there. Teoscar Hernandez scores, give the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead. Third inning, Hernandez doing the damage himself this time. 3-run homer to the deepest part of the park. His 12th of the season. Toronto pushes the lead to 4-0. 5th inning now 4-1. Matt Chapman, 3-run homer of his own. It is 7-1 Blue Jays. The Royals just couldn't get anything else going on offense. Blue Jays even the series tonight, winning 8-1. In the National League, the St. Louis Cardinals open their final series before the All-Star break at home against the Reds. Right now, it's a good one. Cardinals lead 4-3 in the bottom of the 6th. Nolan Gorman is 1 for 2 on the night for St. Louis with a solo home run. The Kansas City Chiefs will begin training camp in a couple weeks in St. Joe, Missouri. Now, the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, joined us in studio earlier today to talk about the season, including the contract situation between the Chiefs and offensive tackle Orlando Brown Jr. What are you looking forward to most in camp? Who are the players you're most excited to see, and what questions do you have that you hope get answered in camp?
I hope I see the continuation of what I saw this spring and summer, because it was a spectacular spring and summer. This is a team that has a chip on its shoulder. You win 6 straight division titles, go to 4 straight AFC championship games, host those 4, and yet people are discounting you. And that's not lost on these guys. The young guys, the old guys, refocus. It starts with Mahomes and Kelsey. They had a great spring and summer. So they're going into camp with a high tempo, and I hope to see that continue in St. Joe.
You can check out our extended interview with Holthus Sunday night on KOAM News at 10. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
By Forbes magazine shows up to 40% of food in America goes to waste. That's upwards of 100 billion pounds of food worth $400 billion every year. That cost ends up back on taxpayers. Now, one reason that corporations don't do more to cut down on waste is that discarded inventory counts as a tax deduction. Meanwhile, hunger affects roughly 38 million Americans, including 12 million children. Well, while developing juice dispensers, a group of developers saw the potential for improving kidney treatments. They went on to create a more convenient way for people to get dialysis treatments. Fox News correspondent Jackie Ibanez has more.
The idea for this home dialysis machine started in the kitchen. A team of UK developers wanted to improve fruit juice dispensers, but realized the technology could be used to make kidney treatments more efficient. They created the SC Plus system to allow patients to access the treatment from home. This week, it won the UK's top engineering prize.
A restaurant that may serve orange juice on demand, one way that they do that is to have a concentrate and to mix that with water to create the drink at the moment it's needed. Similar problem to what a dialysis system needs to do.
Dialysis involves mechanically cleaning the blood when a person's kidneys are not functioning properly. It typically involves multiple hospital visits per week that take anywhere from 3 to 4 hours to complete. The developers say the machine's small size eliminates those weekly visits.
Patients themselves can manage the therapy on their own, yet it's a high-performance device that provides the standard of care of what traditional large machines are able to do.
With this portable device, patients can do dialysis overnight. As a result, they receive more dialysis than traditional methods and can access the treatment during the weekend. 21-year-old Lewis Till says it's been a game changer.
Being able to feel normal again was a big difference. It doesn't feel like I'm on dialysis as much anymore.
The device is already being used on patients in the UK, and there are plans to roll it out here in the US. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Going to check out a new Lord of the Rings coming to Prime Video. Hollywood Nation coming your way. A global superstar creating buzz on social media. The story of a disgraced Hollywood producer heads to the big screen. We got more stuff for you to talk about too. Fox's Kristen Goodwin has the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Can't change what happened to you in the past.
Mulligan teams up with Kazan to uncover a scandal, and Queen Bee thanks her fans in the Hollywood Nation.
Oh, when I say Beyonce is back!
The Beehive is swarming after Beyonce posted her first TikTok on Thursday. The superstar dedicated the video to her fans, which features various clips of other TikTokers dancing to her latest single, Break My Soul. In the caption, she thanked them all for the love on the song, adding, quote, "Seeing y'all release The Wiggle made me so happy." Her entire catalog of songs are also available for creators to use.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel.
Today's first looks include a new trailer to Prime Video's The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. The clip features legendary characters from J.R.R. Tolkien's franchise and gives a sneak peek into some of the realms viewers will visit during the 8-part series debuting September 2nd.
Let's interrogate the whole system.
And Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan bring down a Hollywood predator in the trailer to She Said. The actors play Pulitzer-winning New York Times reporters Megan Twohey and Jodi Kantor, who helped break the Harvey Weinstein sexual harassment story in 2017 that propelled the Me Too movement. The film arrives in theaters November 18th.
It's time to write.
In Hollywood, Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
That's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you tonight with video of a red panda at the Denver Zoo. Oh, hey, little bud. Have a great, safe weekend. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.